Hello Australia, welcome back to the couch, out of isolation, distancing, coronavirus of course, the COVID-19. I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone's back to their normal life, or the new normal as they call it, back to what we used to do. We have got a big couch for you today, as always, episode 665. Mel K, local performer, is coming in to perform her brand new hit. Rivera, only 14 years old, he's coming in to perform for us as well. We're talking entertainment with Alexander Sacosta, talking music with Demelza Leonard, and we're also talking streaming with Paul Elwyn. We give you a chance at winning $500 worth of board games, thanks to Goliath. And we've got Bitchin' back as well with Jen, of course, Ted and Chris. Big couch. Hope you can stay with us. It is our first show back here in the studio, thanks to Side Education as well, and thanks to Foxtel as well for having us back. It is The Couch. 665 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Thanks to all our wonderful crew as well that are back in the studio, our control room crew as well. And let's hope everything goes well. We haven't touched any of the gear for a couple of months. Opening the show today, as always, a great local talent. His name is Rivera. He was on a fantastic show on a bad network, Channel 7, of course, and it was called Little Big Shots a couple of years ago. And he's here today performing for us. He's only 14 and he's got Charlie supporting him. Here he is performing Hey Hey.
Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Well, I love you, baby, but I sure ain't gonna be your dog. Hey, hey, baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Oh, when I whip my arms around you, baby, all I can do is say, hey. Hey, hey, lost your good thing now. Hey, hey, lost your good thing now. Well, you had me fooled, but I found out somehow.
Well done. That is Luis Rivera. And like I said, he's only 14 years old. Now, if you're out there and you're a performer, obviously here in Perth, WA, and you want to be on TV, you want to be doing something, get back into your music, please write to us. Thecouch.com.au is our website. There it is on screen. Thecouch.com.au. Write to us and we'll get you on the show. We have got acts for the next 5 or 6 weeks, but okay. Welcome to Port Elwyn. Welcome back.
Yeah, good to be
out
back.
Out of the isolation thing.
Yes, out of the whole isolation and the kids staying home for a while. They're back at school now, which is all good. But
was
yeah,
it a relief? Did you, as a parent, what was it like having them
it was
at home?
magical. No, school's been great though. All the schools have been handling it so well, and everyone's been so good about.
We've got an amazing education system here in WA. I think we're a forerunner to all the other states. They just got into it. The teachers went back, the staff went back, and the kids, I think we've got about 95% of kids back at school within the first week.
Yeah, they've done so well. So good on you, kids.
Well, welcome back. We're talking streaming still because, as most people would know, thanks to Palace Cinemas, they usually sponsor the segment. They are coming back. July the 2nd, the cinemas will be open. I think they can open now, but it's just getting the films and getting everything back into action. But today we're going to talk about streaming. We've got 7 different things.
So across all of your major streaming services, there's heaps of cool shows to check out.
Amazon, Stan, Netflix, Disney.
And the new player, which is Binge as well.
Which is Foxtel,
yes,
isn't it?
from Foxtel.
Well, let's go to Amazon Prime. You've got Upload.
Amazon Prime. This is a sci-fi comedy called Upload. Essentially, it's the year 2033, and you have the ability to choose, if you pass away, to have your entire consciousness uploaded onto a server. And our main character, Nathan, he has an accident where his autonomous car crashes into a garbage truck. And from that, he's given the decision, do you want us to try and do surgery, or do you just want us to upload your entire consciousness onto a server? And then you have to live like that for the rest of your life.
So it's like 51
he chooses that. And it's kind of a parallel to The Good Place, which is on Netflix. So it's this whole existential, what happens to you afterwards. And so for him, he chooses this, and this is his life now. And from that, it sort of shows you the rest of all the other people. His girlfriend, how does she treat him? And also there's a lady that works as his actual sort of customer service person that looks after his life in the new sort of afterlife as well.
Wow.
And it raises other questions like, did he commit suicide, or was someone tampering with his car? Is there an ulterior motive to all of this as well?
Now, all the things we're proving, all the 7 shows, they're all series, aren't they?
Yeah, these are all not movies, but actual TV series, and some of them are short series that you can check out as well.
So that's Upload.
Yeah.
And on Stan, we've got a couple coming up. We've got
a couple of good ones here. This one's kind of for the ladies, but gents, you can watch these with your significant others and check it out. The first one that we have here is The Great. Now, this one is a short series. It's 10 episodes, but each one's about an hour long. Some really good star power here. Essentially, it's the telling of Russia, how Catherine the Great became the longest reigning female ruler of Russia.
Okay.
And she came from, not much, and she became the actual heir to the throne and everything. It stars Elle Fanning, who's Dakota Fanning's younger sister, and she's amazing in this. And also Nicholas Hoult, who was in Warm Bodies, Mad Max. He was Beast in X-Men.
Wow.
He's really good in this. He plays Peter III, who is, warning, it is a little bit violent in some parts of this, but it's pretty much a comedy.
It's got a lot of humour in it.
It's humour. It's the royal thing. The scriptwriter for this was the scriptwriter for I'm trying to remember the show. It's really good. Yeah. The Favourite. It's a movie called The Favourite, but it's history. It's not exact history.
Yep.
It's very vague.
What age group would this appeal to?
Most of this stuff is mainly for you're in your 20s and such.
Oh,
so
our
there
age
is
group.
20s or so. It kind of the language, and there is a bit of violence in this one, but it is very interestingly done. It's a comedy.
It's
mainly
called The Great, for those people wondering.
Yeah,
let's have a look at Love Life.
Love Life. Now, this is a new one that's out. Every week there's about 2 or 3 episodes that come out. And this one it's kind of a rom-com, but it's a really big exploration on romance and relationships. Anna Kendrick, who's from the whole Pitch Perfect, she's good in this. And it's a whole, she lives in New York, and every episode covers stages in her life that involve relationships. And you get to watch how she progresses as a person, but also how her relationships with her friends, but also the new loves in her life progress as well. And it's pretty interesting. Some people find her character to be annoying, but you notice as you watch it that she's actually growing up, and she's becoming more and more knowledgeable about the world and relationships and how they work.
So this is one for the teens as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Young adults.
Yeah, teens can sort of try and get into this as well.
Love Life.
Yeah, Love Life. with
Sounds
Anna
good.
Kendrick.
Let's go to
Yeah.
Netflix. We've got The Last Dance.
Netflix is crushing it with docos lately, and the two great docos that they've been really doing well is the first one is The Last Dance. You don't have to be a massive sports fan to get into this. It is about NBA and primarily about Michael Jordan's life. And the main focus of this is the Chicago Bulls' involvement in the 97-98 playoffs. This was them about to get their sixth series win. And there was a lot of controversy around it. It was this team is a hugely talented team, but it doesn't just involve Michael Jordan. There's great interviews with him that they've had. The other thing is it involves a lot of the other players. It's amazing. For me, especially, it features a whole episode all about Dennis Rodman as well. Wow. You get Reggie Miller,
so
Charles
if
Barkley.
you're an NBA fan.
If you're an NBA fan, this is amazing. But also, if you're just even vaguely interested in sports and what is involved in the
story behind
teams and the celebrity of it, because Michael Jordan was the first massive sports celebrity. And this is a really good exploration into how all of that works and how all of, not just Michael Jordan, but all of the other players work together as well. So it's
okay,
huge.
that's The Last Dance. Let's have a look at this. This has been
is the
controversial,
biggest one.
isn't it?
This is massive.
Hasn't he gone to jail?
He's in jail, and just lately he's had his actual Tiger Reserve
Everything's been
taken from him.
possessed, yes.
From his arch enemy, and it was stated in the court case,
That's
arch
it.
enemy. This is Tiger King. Now this is the other sort of parallel to docos. This is considered a bit trashy, but these are all of the players. I must warn you, it's difficult to try and find any heroes in this because all the people are very flawed in some way. But we have Joe Exotic, who's the main guy that the focus is on, and how he runs his tiger sanctuary. But his arch enemy in this is Carol Baskin.
Yes.
Oh, she's not like a clean-cut person either. She has a lot of skeletons in her closet. So it explores every aspect of this. And you do realise, there's no real heroes in this.
No.
But what will happen with this? Are these people flawed, and what can they do to try and redeem themselves?
He's a bit of a fruitcake, isn't he? He's like the should I say, the Donald Trump of zoos.
Yeah, but it's tricky because, especially people that love animals and such, it can be a little bit jarring to watch. But for me, it's interesting because it's an exploration of how people try and do animal conservation.
And if you're into animals and lions and tigers, you'll love this one. Let's move straight on to Disney Plus. So we've got Brain Games.
Brain Games with Disney Plus. If you're watching this and you want your kids to get into the whole, it's a series 1 to 7 at the moment. Series 8 is coming out soon, which has Keenan as the host. This is interesting. All it is it's cognitive games and cognitive what happens with your brain, illusions, or what you think happens normally. And it's really good because you'll watch a first episode and then realise you're with your kid and go, I didn't realise these things happen or how I perceive such. And for adults and for kids, it's just great. The kids do really take from it a lot of ideas.
Have you watched
from
this
it.
with your kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good because we both look at each other and go, oh wow, we didn't realise half of this stuff as well. But it's really good. It's science, but it's made nice and simple, and they're actual tricks that you can do yourself.
Great idea to watch it.
Brain
And
Games.
let's look at Binge. Binge, of course, is the new Foxtel platform.
Yes.
They call it Binge. It's called the show that we're looking at is What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows. I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan. He had Jojo Rabbit, the movie he directed this year, which was one of my favourite movies this year. This was based off a short little sort of mockumentary they did quite a few years ago. Then he made an independent movie of it in 2014. This is a TV series. It's all tied in the same universe. The mockumentary movie was based in Wellington, New Zealand. Some of the characters are actually in this, but these are vampires living together in Stanton Island. And you have these awesome characters. You have Nandor the Relentless, but he gets called Nandor all the time. Guillermo is his familiar or his assistant, and he has a lot of trouble as well. Matt Berry, who I'm a huge fan of, he plays Laszlo. Matt Berry's from IT Crowd and London's Finest. You also have his wife Naja, and then they introduce a new type of vampire. His name's Colin, played by Mark Prokish from Breaking Bad. He's an energy vampire, which is a new idea where someone who walks into your cubicle in your office and just saps the energy out of you. It's really hilarious. It's really good. There's a lot of really cool cameos. Arj Barker's a werewolf in it later on as well. But it's a lot of fun. A bit naughty language and a bit of violence, but a lot of fun on binge.
Well, that's what's streaming. Thank you very much to Paul Elwin. I've just finished watching Money Heist, which is an amazing show if you haven't seen it. It sort of starts off as crap and then you get hooked when other people are watching it. You have to watch it. Yeah. And it's not too bad. So if you're looking for something that goes for about 4,000 episodes, Money Heist is on Netflix as well. Paul, thank you very much for coming in today. As always, what's streaming with Paul. Next time you come in, I think we'll be doing movies, hopefully.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yep.
That is Paul Elwin. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk entertainment straight after this on our first show back. See you after the break. Welcome back to the couch. It is episode 665, back from COVID virus leave, coronavirus leave. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining us again here on Foxtel as well. Alexander Sacosta is back talking entertainment. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Fred. Happy to be back.
Are you doing well?
I am doing well. It was sort of nice to have all that time off to do nothing.
Yeah. Summarise the last couple of months.
All right, so I would wake up, do my bed, eat breakfast, and then about a month later I'd do it again.
Oh, there you go. What a great idea. What a wonderful way. I actually got used to isolation, I have to say. It wasn't that bad. You cook at home, you eat a lot more and you put on weight.
Yeah.
That's why I can't do up my jacket today. But that's okay. We've got lots of entertainment stuff to talk about.
Yeah, stuff has started happening
Khloe
again.
Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian, second sister, for those following along. Recently she uploaded a photo onto Instagram where she looked a bit different than how she's been looking recently. She looked really good, actually,
Really?
in the photo.
There she is there.
Yeah, great photo. And a lot of people started slamming her, saying that she'd had plastic surgery, that she was obviously photoshopping the photos and things like that.
Yep.
She really couldn't care less. And I kind of agree with her. At a certain point, we're arguing about the Kardashians having plastic surgery.
I accidentally switched over on Foxtel and saw one of their shows.
Which one? Chloe Lamar?
Look, I can't remember. Her mum
Chloe
wanted one
Kai
of them.
New York?
One of them the mother wanted one of them to appear somewhere as a special guest, and they were all fighting. And
was that the one to do the fashion show?
Yes,
for
that's the
Balmain?
one.
Yes.
And I thought,
and none of them would do it, even though she was going to pay like $250,000.
And I thought to myself, now I know why everybody hates them. So there you go. Interesting. What's happening with Elon Musk?
Elon Musk and Grimes, they revealed the child's name. I don't know if you know how to pronounce it. It is X-A12.
X-A12.
So it's written XAEA-12, but originally they had to change it because state laws in California preclude you from using numbers in your baby's name, so they had to change it to the Roman numerals.
Does it mean anything?
Yes, it's actually got a lot of meaning behind it. So he said X means the letter X, and Ash is just the letters together as well, A and I. But A12 is actually one of his favourite planes.
Oh.
So that's why he named his child.
Whatever happened to River or Moon or Hope?
Well, what I'm finding interesting is they're like,
Valley.
This poor child's going to get teased at school. I'm like, he's not going to get teased at school.
No one
He's
will
going to
know
be one of
who
the
he
most
is.
popular kids at school. Elon Musk and Grimes' child at your school. He's probably going to bring in like the lunar landing for show and tell.
Free for everybody. I can just imagine everything. Look, Elon Musk has been involved in the Tesla
SpaceX.
car and everything else. So I think the name of the child will probably be very little news to anybody.
Yeah.
He'll be
Except
very
me.
popular. Fantastic. Now, what's happening with The Voice? Because I haven't caught up with it.
All
It's
right.
been on TV.
So on
Guy Sebastian.
one of the most recent episodes, the former winner of season 5, Natalie Gauchi, appeared, and she just appeared as a regular contestant. And Guy Sebastian didn't know who she was at first, so when he turned his chair around because he actually wanted to have her on his team, he was just like, "How do I know you?" And it's like, buddy, she was on the show you were famous from. And I feel bad for her.
Was she one of the
because
originals when he was on?
no, it's season 5, so 5
when he
seasons
was
after
host,
him. But she
judge.
won. It's not that she was like,
But isn't that the way it is with The Voice? I think we mentioned this before. Who remembers who won after the first year?
don't you think that's heartbreaking though? That you can win Australian Idol and then like 10 years later you're stuck being a contestant on The Voice and Guy Sebastian doesn't know who you are?
And you won.
Yeah, and you actually won.
Now, I must admit, there's this new thing where you can block. Apparently, you can block each other from supporting an act. I haven't watched it, so if you're out there and you watched it, maybe SMS and tell me what that's all about. Are you into The Voice?
I liked watching the blind auditions just
Yeah.
because it was interesting how they were commenting on the fact that they're all wearing the same clothes.
And did they have an
Filmed all at
audience?
once. They do, yeah.
So they must have recorded it months and months
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
So The Voice is on Channel 9 for those people who missed that part of it. Was there anything else you want to say about The Voice?
Oh, I just thought it was interesting because her original debut single was called Here I Am. So I thought her new single should be called There I Was.
There I was. Or Here I Was.
Or Who Am I?
Apparently, Batwoman is to feature in a new lead.
Yes, Ruby Rose has left the role. So after the first season, which was very popular, and she was very popular in the role of Cassandra Cain, playing the first female Bat character in the Arrowverse on CW, she's left it. She actually injured herself doing the stunts on one of the episodes, and it was actually could have been quite a serious injury because they were herniated discs in her neck. And she said that she just didn't want to put herself through that kind of stuff anymore. So she's actually completely left the series.
I can't watch any of those shows.
Why not?
That was too dark.
Too dark?
I remember,
it's Gotham City.
I know, but all these new Batmans, new Robin, new Batwoman, they all look evil.
What?
They're too dark for me. I like the happy camp characters.
Oh, you like the 60s Batman?
Yes, that's the one. Probably not the 60s, you'd be quite old now. But you probably wouldn't know any different because you're a younger
I watched
generation.
the 60s Batman.
Yeah,
It's
did
classic.
you like it?
Yeah, it's fun.
You see it as classic.
I just used to
There
like
you
it.
go.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm waiting for Wonder Woman to come. I think they're going to make a series.
They might try again. They obviously tried with Adrian Palicki quite a while, I think 5 years ago, but that didn't catch on.
That didn't go
but
anywhere.
We'll see.
Christopher Nolan, what's his
All
up
right,
to?
so this will be our first movie to release post-pandemic, hopefully in July. This is his new movie, Tenet, and it is based on people trying to prevent World War III, starring Robert Pattinson in one of the lead roles. Looks interesting. Looks very interesting, and it's like all Christopher Nolan movies. It's going to have that element of like, what does this even mean? Like Interstellar? How good was Interstellar?
Interstellar was great, I must admit.
I still think Inception is probably like the opposite.
There's a lot of good television and good movies coming out. Let's hope now that the movie cinemas are opening up, all the ones that we were waiting for.
Well, Palace Cinemas will be hopefully reopening soon. We're looking forward to that. And hopefully this will be one of the first films they can show. But he did say that they won't release it if they're not able to release it to a majority of cinemas across the world.
Which is fair enough.
Which makes sense.
You've got to pay for it, I guess.
Yeah.
And finally, new local Perth podcast.
Yes. So for all those fans of Perth comedy, bringing it back home here, the Comedy Lounge has sponsored a new local podcast called The Hard Yarns. And this podcast is really interesting because if you're one of those people that enjoys completely unfiltered, raw discussion of topical events and fake news stories, as they like to call them in the podcast, they go right into it. And completely raw, completely unfiltered. It's not edited at all. And I've actually stumbled across it because I was wanting to see what all my kind of comedy compadre. Bits of it are very funny. Comedians discussing topics is very interesting because you expect it to be very jokey, but I've actually found it very telling of more like real and truthful. So yeah,
fair enough.
Really enjoyed it.
Word for it. I think it is very hard to do comedy online.
And they discuss that.
And I think comedians have done a great job to try and keep the comedy rolling over the last few months. So we'll look out for that one. Where can we catch that?
That one, you can get that on your iTunes through your podcast service, or they've got a Facebook page as well, which you can like and follow along there. They film some of it, and it's nice because you can support local comedy. They've had quite a few of the local comedians.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing you back at comedy and also Constable Care work.
Constable Care,
which is great as well. Thank you very much, Alexander Costa, for being on the show today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Looking forward to it.
Well done. Now, thanks to Palace Cinemas, as Alex was saying, they're going to be back in a few weeks' time, 2nd of July. We are starting to give away the tickets again. There they are. So if you haven't been to Palace Cinema in the city, it's just stunning. It's an amazing, elegant, stylish new type of cinema. I guess they've got bars. You can order food from many of the different restaurants. You've got the Gold Lounge that they call this fantastic Palace Cinema Platinum. And we've got 2 tickets to give away there in my hands for the Platinum and also 2 to general admission. All the seats in all the cinema are all leather, so you get style no matter which you choose to pay for. Fantastic tickets. If you would like to win those tickets, very easy to do. All you need to do is send us an SMS with the code word, Palace, plus your name and your address on them, and we will pick one person during the week after the show screens. But please SMS us to 0439 929 929 and name and address and the word Palace on there, and we'll give those away. And thank you to Palace Cinema for being on board again, and we look forward to having Kevin from Palace back on the show telling us everything new and exciting that's happening at Palace very soon. Now, thank you very much again to Alex. We have got Mel Kay performing for us. She hasn't been on for a while, but we're loving having local artists, local musicians, local bands appearing on the show. Now, just before you perform your new song, let's ask her about that. Mel, tell us about the new song called In Between.
It's a song that I wrote a few years ago, but to me, what I was going through back then is what a lot of people are going through right now. I was going through illness myself, and I just felt like it would relate to a lot of people. it's about the pauses in life and learning how to accept where you are, even though you're not where you want to be yet.
Fantastic. Now, the song is actually called The In-Between. I stuffed it up there, but that's okay. You're going to perform it very soon. But a lot of people are saying she's coming out of isolation. It's been a hard time for musicians being in lockdown, no shows, no music events. Where can we catch you live?
Well, at the moment, we're waiting for venues to open, but once they do, I will be getting back onto that. I'm doing a lot of live shows on Instagram Live at the moment, so if you look at mel.k.music, on Instagram, I put up a lot of my own original stuff on there.
Fantastic. Now, a little rumour told me that you might be heading over east once the airlines are allowed to fly out of WA, the borders open, but maybe also overseas to America.
Yes, I am planning to head to the east once I can. Yes. And then over to probably America in the next few years, probably.
And do I hear right, you're also working on an EP or an album very, very soon, maybe end of the year?
I mean, hopefully. I've got a lot of songs I want to record, a lot of them that have been sitting in the pipeline for quite a while and should probably be out there by now. So I'm hoping to get onto that this year.
All right, well, take this opportunity to promote yourself. Tell us how we can catch up with you, how we can find out more information.
Well, you can head to my Facebook page or my SoundCloud and give me a like or a follow, a comment. Also, you can purchase my single on Spotify or iTunes or any other of the platforms that it's on.
Mel, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for coming in today. We're going to hear you
Thank
sing.
you for having me today. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, look, fantastic. We love having you here. We're going to see you sing your brand new song. It's called The In-Between. Please welcome her, local artist, local musician, Mel K.
Pick those crumpled pieces of paper up. I know you're alone out here. Dusty fields as far as the eye can see. Why are you afraid of the in-between? Take a deep old breath of air into those dusty lungs. Let it purge the pain and the things that you've done. Take a moment to sit and just let it be. And don't be so afraid of the in-between. Take those words made of knives and lay your pride down. What's wrong with living here and now? Well, I know we've all made mistakes and got down and out. What's the point in living life like we're not alive right now? Take a deep old breath of air into those dusty lungs. Let it purge the pain and the things that you've done. Take a moment to sit and just let it be. And don't be so afraid of the in-between. Darkness, I'm not afraid of you. Emptiness, not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Darkness, I'm not afraid of you. Emptiness, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. He said, look up at the stars. The lights go where they are. And on my tombstone, all I want are the two small words. I was. I was not afraid of you. Darkness, I'm not afraid of you. Emptiness, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Darkness, I'm not afraid of you. Emptiness, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. Pick those crumpled pieces of paper up. I know you're alone out here. Dusty fields as far as the eye can see. Why are you afraid of the in-between?
Gotta love it, Mel. Well done. Congratulations. Please look out for it. Supported by the song. And we'll have her back on the show very soon. We're going to take a break talking music. Speaking of music, Demel's is back right after this. Well, welcome back to the couch here on Aurora Television, channel 173. And don't forget, you can catch up with us on Facebook as well, thecouch.com.au. If you missed anything or want to see it again, please go on there as well. And stay tuned, because in the next segment, we'll tell you how you might be lucky enough to spin it to win it and win some amazing prizes thanks to Goliath Games. We've got $500 worth of games to give away. I'll tell you more in the next segment. But first, let me welcome her back from isolation as well. Demelza Leonard, how have you been?
I've been well.
What have you been doing? Summarise for me in 30
A lot of
seconds.
baking. We got fish.
Yeah.
So dealing with running a fish
tank.
Yeah. And just keeping the little guy occupied.
Does the little guy, being Hunter, your son,
Yeah.
does he like to overfeed the fish yet? Because I used to when I was a kid.
No, we've put a strict that only mummy and daddy feed the fish, but I did catch him. I was in the bathroom, I've come out, and he was trying to feed biscuit crumbs to them the other day. So
That's what we do.
stop that pretty quickly.
I remember having fish as well, and I used to spear them, but that was a different story.
Oh, gosh.
Let's not tell Hunter. He might be watching.
No.
What's been happening in music? It's been pretty quiet. A lot of music acts have been out of business.
Music-wise, in terms of new music, people have been utilising live streams. We've had live stream concerts. We've had DJ live streams. We've had releases from the likes of Metallica releasing new stuff that no one's ever seen before. So there's been a lot of that to keep people entertained at home. However, the big news at the moment is, of course, Blackout Tuesday, which happened due to the riots and the protests that are happening
Yeah, some
for
tragic
justice.
stories there.
Yeah, for George Floyd in Minneapolis
Some
in the
fires
US.
as well.
So what we saw is two music executives a couple of days ago or a week ago put out a call that one thing they'd love to see is that people showing their solidarity. Let's pause the music. So it was the hashtag the show must be paused. Stop your content, pushing your music, pushing what you normally do, and how about we look at using a black square for Black Lives Matter and actually allowing people to use that time to have a conversation, learn and educate themselves on what is currently happening. So that then got tweeted by Quincy Jones. It went viral across the entire music industry, and what we saw was a whole heap of artists sharing their thoughts, what they were doing, taking part in protests. So Ariana Grande, MGK, Machine Gun Kelly taking part. Slipknot came out on social media as well, calling for justice for George Floyd, as well as all those who had been affected by police brutality. So there's quite a long list.
I think
there.
it's been an amazing time for musicians.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't realise, yes, people can be quite wealthy, but they can lose a lot of money in a very small time, like 2 or 3 months not working. And for anybody that's in television, media, music, unless you're seen, your business collapses. So look, I'd give it to all those fantastic musicians all around the world, whether it's local, international or amazing stars. They've done an amazing job to help other people in this time, this difficult time. What can we expect with the the Blackout Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is that happening again now?
We haven't heard anything about it happening again. We are seeing a lot of musicians coming out and taking part in protests, taking part in concerts.
More than they used to.
I
yeah.
think what you're going to see is maybe, depending on what's happening with the coronavirus, is potentially some more live streams, potentially some live stream concerts like we have for the hospital and frontline workers. We might see something along those lines for the Black Lives Matters movement.
Well done
as
to all
well.
those musicians that are involved. You're doing a great thing for so many people in the community.
Yeah.
What's Jebediah up to?
So Jebediah have come out on social media and said that they have released their 2 original EPs. So the first one, Twitch, which was a 5-track EP that came out in 1996, as well as their anniversary EP. These have been very, very hard to find on online.
Yep.
So you can now stream these. So Ferris Wheel, which was huge in 1996. Funnily enough, on the WA state singles charts, Ferris Wheel kept Celine Dion, Because You Love Me, and Fuji's Killing Me Softly off the #1 spot.
Really?
So that just shows you how big Jebediah was,
But Jebediah was
especially in WA.
it's a Perth
they are.
band,
They're a
aren't they?
local
so
band.
you'd expect them to do well in our own
Yeah.
state.
So they have released this. You can find them on all streaming sites now. You can find those 2 albums for a little bit of 90s Jebediah nostalgia.
Fantastic. Talking about albums coming out, we hear the ABBA stuff. I saw a rumour the other day. I've been
They're
seeing all
talking
these
about
specials.
new stuff, new music on the way.
An
So.
album, maybe, before we get the 2 new songs.
Well, do you know what? If there's any time that people want ABBA, now's
Do
the
it now.
time.
Look, I agree with you. And Lady Gaga, everyone wants her as well.
Yeah, so Lady Gaga has teamed up with Ariana Grande for the 2nd single off her Chromatic album. It's a brilliant album. It takes us back to what we know Lady Gaga for. This track is called Rain on Me. It's if you recognise the sample from it, it's actually Gwen McRae's All This Love I'm Giving, which was also sampled in the very funky late 90s dance track Cassie's My Feelings For You, which has given us this very funky, very poppy, almost 90s house vibe. This song has debuted at #2 on the ARIA charts. It's debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts in the US. So expect big things from this album for Gaga.
Lady
She's back.
Gaga. I did actually see her on TV only about a week or so, a couple of weeks ago, doing something. I didn't catch what it was, but I think like us.
She was the one who got all the artists together for
That's
the
what
live, the at-home concert.
There you go.
That's what it
Fantastic work there too. Now, can I also ask you, a lot of people will be saying, when can we see music come back to town?
Yeah.
You know, big stars. All the stuff that RAC Arena closed down, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be in the next few months? Could it be end of the year? What do you
I think
hear?
we're probably looking next year. When you look at concerts overall, it does take a lot of time to put it together, get the act, get the visas. You know, we don't even know when travel's happening internationally, and I think that's going to be the tell.
It is going to be the big,
everything.
especially with our borders being closed.
Yeah, well, a lot of those concerts, Alanis Morissette, Backstreet Boys, they were all pushed back to the same time the following year, so they've just pushed everything 12 months. But it's going to come down to what are the restrictions with what's happening, how many people are they going to allow us to have in large areas, and also are people going to be comfortable in those situations as well.
I think I'll be watching Cher do ABBA for the next 6 months by the sound of it, so better than nothing.
Still got a while to go, but I think if anything, let's use this time to support our local musicians and get
I
out
agree,
there.
100%. Go and support them, buy their albums, and like them, subscribe to them, and do anything you can to support them. Let's have a look at the top 3 that are doing
Let's
really
have
well
a
still
look.
with the sales. Isn't it funny that the charts still go on no matter what?
They do. So coming in at
Number
number 3, it is Roses with St. John with Roses rather.
And
Number
number
2,
2,
as mentioned, it's Gaga
Rain
with
on Me.
Ariana Grande with Rain on Me. And at number 1, it is Da Baby with Rockstar featuring Roddy Ricch.
not my favourite tune.
No, but it's doing big things at the moment. It's that younger generation with all their streaming. So
Thanks for letting me know.
Da Baby's the next big rapper coming up too. So just
Thank
to
you
let
very
keep
much.
you in the loop.
Thank you to Demelza Leonard. If you want more information or you want to get in touch with Demelza, she does a lot of stuff to do with social media. She can help you or your company. Please go to her website, which is, of course, demelzaleonard.com. It's on screen right now. Thank you very much. Business back to normal, starting to?
Getting there. Back into the grind of things. So we'll just keep seeing what happens.
And look after those fish.
I will.
We're going to take a break. Be back after the break with those people. They're back, the three of them. The ones that talk over each other. The annoying three. But we love having them here. Bitchin' back right after this.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
The Couch, nice to have you back on our first show back since COVID virus or coronavirus, COVID-19 we should call it. Let me welcome our bitching panel. Of course, Chris Ilsley from 882 6PR Perth tonight.
Do you know how the name COVID-19 came about?
Yes, it's something to do with the Chinese lab or something, isn't
No,
it?
It's not.
COVID, CO,
Yep.
CO is short for COVID,
Yep.
right? Coronavirus, right? VI for virus,
Yeah.
D for disease, 19 for the year it first
I
came.
prefer coronavirus. It's so much easier for people to understand.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Welcome back to Jen Merrigan.
you,
Now, you've been
darling.
away a while because you had some leave and then coronavirus
Yes,
came in.
yes.
You're doing well?
Yeah,
and Chris,
back
you're
at
doing
work.
well?
We
You're back
have-
at
Yeah,
work?
yeah. We've
Oh,
managed to
well.
avoid all diseases.
And you
Yes.
haven't stopped working, can I be
No.
honest?
I haven't stopped
Most of you have
working
been
either.
working.
No, none
Now,
of us have stopped working.
This man here, Ted's been in isolation for a while.
I'm a little worried. I've got to ask you a controversial question because I'm suffering from an ingrown toenail, which I wasn't until 5G was introduced. And I want to know is there 5G here because my bloody toe is so sore.
Of course, this is a
Of course
government
there's
school.
5G here. There's 3 times 5G.
And have you
Be
had all
afraid.
your, have you had all
Be
your
very
vaccines
afraid.
as well?
Actually, we do have very fast.
Yes,
but
I had my first vaccine 70 years ago.
and it hasn't worked.
No. Anyway, great to
Someone's-
see you.
Can I
Great
say
to
welcome
see
back to Ted Bull
Thank
as
you,
well.
mate.
Well done. Ted, you and I can't travel to Bali for a while.
No,
but
what a shame.
it is a shame because I'm
I've
looking
got a
forward
few
to it.
credits though, mate.
Exactly, because you were supposed to fly
Yeah.
in the week that they called the
That's right,
isolation.
yeah.
But it's nice to see you back. What's your story?
Haven't gone anywhere.
No, I know.
Well, I have to say that one of the big things of having been a broadcaster for over 50 years, I'm used to sitting in a room by myself, just talking to myself and playing a bit of rock and roll. So that's what I've done for the past 11,
Are
12
you
weeks.
serious? And you've enjoyed it?
Of course, I've become, I think I'm basically a recluse anyway, apart from the ingrown toenail.
Funny you say that because I've actually enjoyed being on my own as
Yeah.
well.
Well-
and you've got grandchildren, which you probably couldn't see.
Well,
Not much anyway.
well.
Whatever you could sneak in through
Yeah,
the back
that's
window,
right.
back
Yeah,
door,
yeah,
fly
yeah.
screen, letterbox. What's your story today?
Well, and funny you should say. I'm talking about how we're no longer doing the old handshake, the hug, and of course the French. I'd never come across this term before. La bise. La bise is when you.
Is that French kissing?
Yeah, no, it's not French kissing. That's a little different.
Oh, okay.
La bise.
You can
Yeah, la
Trust me,
bise.
that's
La
a little bit
bise.
different to French.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
La bise.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to what I was going to say.
So we don't handshake, we don't
No.
hug, we don't kiss.
And it's interesting with
We'll go back
handshakes.
to doing all that.
But interestingly enough, with
We're
handshakes.
human beings. We're social creatures.
Well, we are. We're tactile. All animals
Yeah,
are
we like
tactile.
touching.
You know, we just do. And as far as handshakes go, see that little black spot on my head there? That's off my headphones. The
No,
rubber
that's
comes
the 5G.
Is it? Oh, no! Well, look, it's been great being on.
But isn't it funny? You talk about handshaking. Our own Premier made the mistake the other day. He shook somebody's hand.
Yeah.
Right? That's in Geraldton, Bustleton. And everybody went off at him. I'm saying, come on, people.
but
We've
that's
got
great.
nobody sick in this
Premier's
state.
health is being well monitored,
Exactly.
and the
Yeah.
other person's
Constantly.
probably fine
Yeah,
too.
and
if
the
nobody has
disease
the
that we
virus.
have had have all been isolated, and
Correct.
it's all pretty much come back in
From outside.
From outside.
And
So
with
keep
hand-
those borders up.
handshakes.
Let's put it this way: I'd rather shake the Premier's hand
right.
than go and do a tour
It's
on
all
a
right.
shake
I was
shack.
gonna
You're going to
say-
get more time. There you
Thank
go.
you. Well, talking about handshakes, I think it's been fascinating that shaking hands has changed so much in my lifetime, where the idea was that you always had a firm handshake
Yep.
that showed that you were a man, where in actual fact a soft handshake meant that you felt dominant
Bit soft.
over the other person. And in my lifetime, we shake hands with women, where, you know, we...
Yeah.
I've always shaken hands.
Yeah, but that's your general... Oops!
You kiss the hand.
That's for kissing my
Oh,
hands.
well, kissing hands, yeah.
Yes.
But isn't it? Do you find it? I mean, obviously you've been around a bit longer than us. So this whole isolation, the whole not kissing, hugging.
means he's
Have
had
you
more
ever
5G.
seen this happen before in your lifetime?
No, never. Oh, well, I have to say, when I was about
That's it.
15 or 16
Yeah.
and we were playing Spin the Bottle, I know a few times there were several young ladies who wouldn't play the game properly with me.
Oh, I know. They were
So I know what
cheated.
it's like to be
they were-
rejected.
And the better looking they were, the more they cheated.
Is that because your
controlled
foot
by
kept?
5G.
I bet your foot kept stopping the bottle at there where they had to remove clothing or something.
Oh, you're we come from a very innocent age.
Oh, yeah,
We always
right.
kept our clothes on.
I remember when we used to play
Until they
spin.
came off.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, getting back to
Go on.
this whole brand new thing, and as far as hugging goes, I, particularly with grandkids, I have to say, and you see a 5-year-old and they really don't get it. And you see them...
They're wanting to have
they're
affection.
wanting to, yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Do you really want a 5-year-old to get it?
No.
Do you know
But-
what? It's happened and it's done, which I'm glad we've come out of it. Hopefully in 3 months.
Well, let's hope we're out of
Look,
it.
let's put it this way. I don't believe that there's going to be a winter flu come along. That's going to happen anyway. I think if nobody's sick in the state, if none of us have got corona because we're not going to doctors or hospitals, where's it
Geez, I
going to
went
come
to
from?
Dan Murphy's yesterday. I got 6
Well, it'll
corona.
only come if they open the borders.
Correct, and that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Well, let's hope he doesn't
So-
succumb to pressure. And
Ted,
open
was
the
there a
borders,
point,
yeah.
another point you wanted to make
Yeah,
just
I
before we
did.
move on?
This is, I think, a romance. I mean, okay. I mean, it doesn't
Imagine
enter
being
my
an
life
18-year-old on Tinder right now. I'm going to go out with a hot date with this hot honey. Keep 1.5 metre. Geez, that's
Well,
just put a dampener on
now.
everything.
I mean, you know, the old story about seeing someone across a crowded room. Well, that can't happen
No.
anymore because everybody's
you
socially
won't see the
distanced.
person
But
because
there's
the
no
room's
crowd.
half
But
deserted.
that's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
change. You know that in 3 weeks'
Well,
time
I
they're
know,
saying
but
it's going to
still,
finish.
we've had 11 or 12 weeks
Yeah.
where a
It's been
young
a long
man's
time.
fancy can't turn to anything.
No,
I agree.
Can
no,
it?
I put a great cartoon up on our Facebook page. It was "Where's Wally?" and there was only Wally on the street.
Exactly. Now, talking about isolation, you'll notice that all the footage I've seen on TV, only on 7 and 10, of course, never on Channel 9, but nobody's distancing. The restaurants are full of people, and there's 8 people at a table, and no one's 1.5 metres away from each other. I rang one of those hotels because I saw it on one of the news services, and I got the guy that was on the news, and I said, "Oh, look, I've got 8 people, and we want to make a booking. Can we do?" "Oh, yeah, no problem." I said, "Can we sit together?" He goes, "Oh, well, we're separating the tables, but people are putting them together, and we're not interfering."
Well,
so I wonder how many
taking
are
a
doing
risk,
it.
though, Fred.
They are, but
Because
who's going to get you the
but
I
they
virus?
can
asked
be
the
fined,
restaurateur.
can't they, mate?
Exactly.
I said, were people coming to check on you? And he said, absolutely they were, and they were doing it in plain clothes. And he said there was a couple that came, and it was only when we realised that they were just staying for a very short time, one course, that they were actually people who'd come to check to make sure that we were
right.
complying with the
And
rules.
look, I think that's fair
I
enough.
think so.
But why can they then allow this complete
can play
break
sport.
of social distancing with the protests
Yep.
and,
And the
fine
sport.
a restaurant $5,000?
And what
And
about the
here's the
contact
other
sport?
But
jamming people on
you
the
know that-
trains in peak hour, cheek to jowls,
Yeah.
okay. And those same people could then jump and cram on a cat bus to take them down to their office. But once they arrive at their office, they can only go up the lift 2 at a time.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, there's
exactly.
always anomalies, but interestingly enough, Jen, as I was telling you before we came on air, several of the organisers of the Melbourne protest rally have been fined.
Yes.
Yes, which, I mean, it's a tough sort of, you know, what it's all about, and I guess we're touching on what you want to talk about now. Sorry, Fred.
That's all right.
It's like I believe in being able to protest, yet I also believe we have to take care. So it really becomes, you know, caught between a rock and a hard
But
place.
at the moment, there's lots of things we would do and we would take for granted that we couldn't do.
Correct.
So if you wanted a protest, there would be an argument to say, yeah, you're going to have your protest, but you're going to have to delay it.
Do you know what? I think
Well,
we can
I'm-
talk about this for the whole week,
Yeah.
and we're probably still going to go around the circle. But can I move straight on to your
Yes,
story? Because I know we've only got
absolutely.
5
well,
or 6 minutes.
talking about some of the reasons why people have been protesting around the world over the last couple of weeks is this very interesting article I came across, and it's about white privilege and systemic racism in 2020. Because really, what all the protests have come about is that the Black Lives Matter And I think it's been really interesting where people have said, well, all lives matter.
Yes.
And I think
I actually tend to agree with that.
But it's not a
saying.
competition. It's not a competition.
It's not a competition, and I think what this article really gets down to some of that bit about all lives matter. This woman who's a teacher, Jane Elliott, who is white herself, and she's famous for teaching her third grade students about racism by dividing them into two groups according to their eye colour. Now, she also has done a short anti-racism activist video, and she invited the audience of white people to stand up if they would be happy to be treated the same way that society in general treats our black citizens. And guess what happened?
What happened? Nobody stood
No
up.
one stood up.
And can I just say to you, I know we need to move on to Chris, and it's a good point you make, and I did hear 6PR were talking about it the other night, exactly that same Lady Jane. But I think, you know, it's probably the worst time to start picking a fight on racial grounds, because it seems to be that it's happening at the moment because stupid police did the wrong thing with the guy.
Is there ever a wrong time, though, to protest?
No,
over
there
it,
isn't,
Fred?
but I just wonder if now there's so much happening with coronavirus that people are just everywhere and probably looking for a reason to get out there and start. What I saw in America was very sad.
With cabin fever.
Yeah. Well,
and let's be honest, in the US,
sad.
there are people protesting who don't give a damn about the cause.
Yep.
They've seen the opportunity for a good looting or just to basically
Chris,
cause
it's
trouble.
a minority, and the media likes to show. They would rather show.
But it doesn't matter if you've got a minority of people. If they're tearing up the joint's still torn up.
But also, I think the media also, as they have historically, gone for that kind of story over a group of people just kneeling down.
I agree with you. I think.
But the group of people kneeling down, Ted, aren't a problem. The people who are smashing windows and looting.
The violence, the fires, the looting.
That is
what
the story,
worries
isn't
me
it? That
is
the story if they do
in
that.
all these
protests,
protests, particularly in the UK and particularly in the US, they're going to get huge second waves because their virus numbers are so high.
Yes,
and that's what is going to be
the
very
US over
sad.
100,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell me something. Do you tend to agree? You saw the footage last night, the night before. I saw the footage of the 75-year-old man that was knocked over by police. It was clear black and white. I'll be honest with you. That was brutality.
Yes.
There was no need. He wasn't doing anything violent. The police were stood down. 2 of them were put off, and then 19 police officers resigned in protest because they thought those police
That's
officers.
gone up to 57.
Let them go.
Can I just make a point here? There's one thing that has been missed in all of this. This is probably a really good reason, and we should think about this in Australia. Next time police scream for more powers, think about it. Because unfortunately, when police get more powers, you also get more God disease.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you know what? Can I just one little point on that got me was the thing that really knocked me over wasn't so much him being knocked over. It was a lack of reaction from the other
No one went and helped him. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's pretty typical.
Yeah,
but you see, I also understand why that happens now because people don't want to get involved in something that
I agree.
could potentially bite them
you
legally.
might get your head knocked off as well. Chris, can I just quickly go to your story?
Yeah, we're just talking about the cashless future. Commonwealth Bank believes by 2026 in Australia we are going to be a cashless society. We are the 6th least users of cash in the world.
And haven't we proven that during
coronavirus has just accelerated that. And I think initially they were talking about 2030. They're now talking about 2026. And I think it's almost inevitable it's going to happen.
I agree.
Well, some others have mentioned the tooth fairy. A kid's going to have a little thing a little FPOS for the tooth fairy.
Mum and Dad, no. We'll do transfer. Haven't you ever heard of an Osco payment?
Well, I've been selling lots of second-hand furniture, and everyone's been paying me cash.
Exactly.
Well, so nowadays, in the future, they'll just Osco pay you, and the beauty of that is it's instant. So you'll be able to look and say, "Thank you, I've got the money. You can take the."
I know, but I don't want to give someone my bank account.
No,
well,
you don't have to.
I had an experience when I was in Scandinavia.
When
I was in Scandinavia this time last year, and they're all into cards there. I bought an ice cream. you know, how much does an ice cream cost?
$1.50, $2,
And I just
$3.
automatically put my card.
I'm the same.
And that's the way but that's how they
But
do
you know
it.
what they do now? They've got those
Scandinavia.
little chips the size of
Bankwest
rice
use them.
in the back of their hands in Sweden now, and you'll see them doing
Well,
that.
you'll
My
find-
daughter's got
What happens to
the,
5G with those?
the
handfuls.
iPhone
Mate,
watch.
it's not 5G I'm worried about. What happens when
Just-
6G comes
Just
along?
quickly, Jen, what were you going to say quickly?
Sorry.
My daughter's got the iPhone watch, and she can do everything on
Yes,
that watch.
correct. You can
Yeah.
pay things with
Pay
it.
things.
In fact, I think it does everything except tell the time. doesn't it?
Well,
Can I just
think
ask,
so.
just a quick wrap up? Coronavirus, there's 2 or 3 months that we've been in isolation. Just a quick wrap up from each of you. How have you spent the time?
Look, I think Western Australia, in fact, Australia has been absolutely brilliant. And I have to say, I have
So
a
is the
certain
Premier.
level of pride about being in
So
this
do I.
country, this
Yeah.
nation.
And congratulations, Scott Morrison, also the Premier,
Yes.
Mark McGowan. We've got the best state,
I
and
think
they've
all
worked
this,
well together.
mate. I think we
Yeah.
can take our dips our head to all the state
Yeah.
premiers because
Yeah.
I think they all
I
do.
think
They
they
do.
have.
And the
all
thing
politicians.
is, despite the fact that they represented both sides of
Yep.
the political spectrum, they work together, which
Yeah.
shows it can be done.
It can
exactly,
be done.
and let's
Jen?
hope it. Look, I think Mark McGowan did a great job. I think Scott Morrison did a great job. I think we
Australians
as a people
have done an amazing
have
job.
done an amazing job. And
The
we Have a
hospital,
Go
the
News. We've
emergency
kept
services.
on going the whole
Yeah.
way through. So
So did we on Perth tonight.
Yeah.
Let's say
So-
thank you very much on that note. Perth tonight, Monday to Friday from 8 to midnight
Indeed.
on
Thank you for
6PR
having me
Radio.
on, Fred.
Listen online to 6pr.com.au. Have a Go News.
Yeah, haveagonews.com.au. Printing
edition.
70,000 copies.
Wow.
now.
Congratulations. Can't wait for it to be 100,000. So please support Have a Go News. They do an amazing job, especially during these times where people are looking for news all the time and information that suits them. And talking about Have a Go News, do you have an article in it yet?
I did ages ago.
I
About
remember you.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And what do you want to say? Do you want to thank anybody during the isolation?
I
Maybe the
actually
nurses,
make-
doctors?
I would like to thank
Yeah.
I
Academy?
think Julie and our relationship, in fact, is better. We
Oh,
get
that's
on
good.
better. Because
no,
I
just
positive.
don't tell her this, but it's because I do what I'm told now.
Oh, there
No,
you
that's
go.
just survival.
Thank you, Ted.
That makes
Thank you,
sense.
Ted. Thank you to Jen, and
life,
thank you to
happy
Sylvie. We will have them back again in a couple of weeks' time. We're getting our act together, getting everyone back. Do we have time to do the competition? No, we don't. We'll tell you about our fantastic Life Game giveaway. Spin it to win it next week. But from all of us here at The Catch, thanks to all the crew, thanks to everybody for coming back, thanks to the Education Department, Mark McGowan and everybody else for letting us come back to the studio. We'll see you next week on episode 666 on The Couch. Bye for now.
On the couch with us. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da. On the couch with us.